Our guest this morning is none other than Dr. Don Colbert. He's a New York Times best-selling author who has written over 40 books that together have sold millions of copies. Dr. Colbert is a frequent guest on programs like John Hagee, Joyce Meyer, Kenneth Copeland, just to name a few. Well, he joins us this morning all the way from sunny, warm Daytona Beach to talk about his new book, The Hormone Zone: Lose Weight, Restore Energy, Feel 25 Again. Dr. Colbert, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. It's great being here. Thank you.
It's great to have you, and this is a subject that so many people don't understand. And right off the top, you talk about hormone confusion. Well, before we talk about hormone confusion, let's talk about what hormones are and what we need to understand about our hormones.
Well, hormones are simply chemical messengers, and there's many different hormones in the body, but the ones that affect so many women and men are those sex hormones, as well as the thyroid hormone and the adrenal hormones. Those are critical hormones, but especially around age 40, most women start first, they develop one hormone domino that falls, and most women miss it. Most all doctors miss it, because the first hormone to decrease is testosterone in women. And it decreases to a subpar level around age 40. And when testosterone decreases, energy goes, vitality goes, libido goes, sex drive goes. And women start to get brain fog. They start to get irritable, grumpy. And many get depressed, and they turn to their doctors, and their doctor's quick to prescribe an antidepressant, Celexa or Zoloft or Lexapro or Cymbalta. But testosterone is one of the best natural hormonal antidepressants because it boosts dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. But other hormones start to fall about 5 years later. Around age 45, women's progesterone starts to go subpar. And when that happens, women get even grumpier, more irritable. And that's why for many years I've been prescribing bioidentical micronized progesterone as the cure for most women with PMS. It's amazing what it does. But also women at around age 45, they can't sleep good. They can't go to sleep or stay asleep because progesterone's subpar, as well as their hair starts to fall out.
Right.
And then they really get upset because progesterone helps, when it's optimized, helps to grow the most beautiful heads of hair, and it prevents breast cancer, whereas the synthetic progestin, such as Provera, actually can cause breast cancer. So that's why we have to be wise in our choices, and unfortunately, a lot of doctors don't know the difference. Now, the third hormone domino to fall occurs around age 50 in most women, and that's estrogen, but especially estradiol. Estradiol is the form of estrogen that gives the woman the body that she loves, the nice, beautiful curves, the breasts, the buttocks, the soft, supple skin. But when 50 hits, estradiol goes out the window. It starts to go subpar, suboptimal, way suboptimal. So women develop hot flashes, night sweats, irritability, vaginal dryness, all these horrible symptoms where they're sleeping at night and all of a sudden they wake up with a hot flash. And they throw the covers off, and then they try and turn the AC way down to 60 and freeze their husband out. So again, when the hormone, the estrogen that increases at that time is what I call the old lady estrogen, called estrone. This is the estrogen that causes the menopot or the pot belly, the saggy breast, the saggy bottom. The women lose their beautiful natural hourglass curves and start to develop the old lady estrogen curves with all the bulges, the unseemly bulges, the back fat, the belly, all the bulges that women don't want. They lose their nice curves because of this estrone. So again, what I've been doing for many years is optimizing these key hormones. And of course, women first need to get their mammogram and make sure there's no breast cancer or if they have a family history of breast cancer, we're real cautious with estradiol because 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer. But in the study that confused so many doctors years ago was the Women's Health Initiative of 2002. It's a huge study. And to summarize it real quick, the results of the study showed that women on Premarin, which is from pregnant mares or horses' urine, it's a It's a horse's estrogen, and Provera, which is a synthetic progestin, had an increased risk of breast cancer, heart attacks, and strokes. And so what happens, most doctors immediately quit, prescribing hormones, took the women off hormones and threw them into what I call hormonal limbo. And they started
getting... Because there was nothing after Premarin was gone. There was really nothing left for women. Because I know in my mother's generation that she was on Premarin for a lot of years. And when those studies came out, there was nothing. I mean, every woman got off of Premarin.
You're right. Now, what was happening years before, because I've been prescribing these for 35 years, we've had bioidenticals for decades, even before that, in the form of creams or sublinguals. So it's interesting. There's two key groups in that Women's Health Initiative. There was the Premarin Provera group for women who have their uterus, and then there was the Premarin only group for women who had a hysterectomy. So it's interesting, when they reanalyzed the data, the women on just the Premarin, or the pregnant mare's urine estrogen, had 23 to 33% decreased risk of breast cancer than the women, just regular women. So it actually decreased their risk of breast cancer, was what the final summary of the Women's Health Initiative found out in that one group, just on Premarin only. They found the progestin, or the synthetic progesterone, Provera, was the main cause of breast cancer. So what they did is, the doctors, or the study, literally threw the baby out with the bathwater, took women off all these hormones, well, took them off the bad hormones, but also the good hormones. And as a result, it's been calculated that as many as 91,000 women over the 10-year period from the Women's Health Initiative, from 2002 to 2011, died prematurely from not having adequate hormone levels, from osteoporosis, from other forms of diseases that could have been prevented with hormones.
So let's talk about doing nothing, because there's been so much controversy about,
yes,
we know 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer in her lifetime. Okay, so
yes,
every woman, or many women, are very concerned about that and would say, I'm just going to go it alone. I'm not going to do anything because I don't want to increase my chances. Let's talk about the other side of doing nothing.
Okay, the other side of doing nothing is, once a woman hits 50 and on, usually the hormones start to bottom out across the board, all the key sex hormones. As a result, women start developing osteopenia, osteoporosis, muscle loss, leaky bladders, where they have to have all these bladder surgeries from not enough testosterone, as well as they start to develop all kinds of mental issues. Many develop irritability, depression, dementia, memory loss. That's what testosterone protects the brain from, as well as estradiol. The studies have shown that if we can put women on estradiol around the time of menopause, it will delay the onset of Alzheimer's or dementia by 10 years. But if you add testosterone, you delay the onset of dementia by 20 years.
Wow.
But I tell women, if you want to be so safe, we have other ways, safer forms of estrogen, such as estriol, that's been used in Germany for decades, over 30 years. And estriol, I talk about in my book, is 1/100th the strength of estradiol, yet it helps protect your brain, it helps your skin, it helps also protect those pelvic organs, the pelvic musculature, so you don't get that leaky bladder and that pelvic relaxation we see so much. And you can use that vaginally, just 1 or 2 times a week, or sometimes 3, but you don't get the side effects you can get from estradiol, and it's much safer. Plus, another stat so many women don't realize, women, when you reach menopause and your estrogen nosedives and your estradiol is low and your FSH is high, that's your pituitary screaming at your ovaries to produce estrogen. When that FSH is real high, the higher it goes, well, that means you're in the depths of menopause or postmenopause. And when that happens, that means that literally your brain is aging. Wow. The higher the LH and FSH, generally, the more the brain is aging. So you're developing that aging brain. And again, we have safe form. A lot of my women, I just put them on testosterone and estriol.
Okay, and hold that thought. Let me get a quick break here. But when we come back, I want to talk about testosterone and the other hormone that you were talking about that you're putting your patients on, and what we need to know about any side effects or adverse effects. Dr. Don Colbert is our guest this morning, and we're talking about our hormones, what we need to know. The book is called The Hormone Zone. Stay on point. We're back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. Our guest this morning is Dr. Don Colbert. He's a New York Times best-selling author. He has written more than 40 books and sold millions of copies. This morning, if you are struggling with health issues and you have absolutely no way of understanding what's going on, your doctor can't figure it out, this morning is a revelation for many people. We're talking about the hormone zone. And oftentimes, Dr. Colbert, that's what happens to people. We go to the doctor and the doctors just put a Band-Aid on what's really going on. But according to your book and so much information, a lot of it has to do with our hormones, men and women.
Absolutely. I see this every day. And so many patients come in and they're on this laundry list of medications. I say, why are you taking this? Oh, depression. Why are you taking this? All because to treat this symptom of that medicine. And so again, it's just all these medicines have side effects. But I found when I optimize these hormones and bring them to the level of a 25-year-old, many people start to feel like a 25-year-old again. And we start to reverse diseases such as depression, fatigue, obesity, because once you optimize those hormones, energy returns. And people start moving again and exercising again, and many can follow the proper diet to lose the weight.
So, Dr. Colbert, why aren't more doctors talking about hormones?
Simple. Number one, they're not educated. Most are educated by the pharmaceutical industry. And most of these bioidentical hormones, they're natural hormones that you get from compounding pharmacies, and they're cheaper. And so, again, you simply follow the money. Plus, realize most doctors don't have the time to spend to educate the person. That's why I wrote the book. This is an accumulation of 35 years of practice. I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen tremendous changes in my women and men. And when I optimize those hormones, and when I put them on a few key nutritional supplements and change their diet to either an anti-inflammatory diet or a plant-based keto diet, oh my goodness. These people are able to come off so many of their medicines. They get their energy back. They come in just bouncing. I'm talking about 60, 70, 80, even 90-year-old patients. I get 90-year-old patients many times the hormone levels of a 25-year-old.
Wow. Okay, so let's go back to estradiol and testosterone, because a lot of people are now moving to testosterone, a lot of women and men. So let's talk about those two.
Well, testosterone is critically important to women and to men, but just as important to women, because that's the first hormone domino to fall around age 40 in women, and women get tired. And low estrogen occurs around age 50.